and welcome to FPL Mate, your best move for fantasy Premier League content for the 2023-24 season. My name is Dan, and today we are going to find out what the top FPL managers are doing ahead of Gameweek 6. Believe me guys, this is a big week to make some transfers, and we've got some really strong trends from the experts this week that are really going to help you make your FPL decisions and work out who the best transfer targets are, as well as who you're bringing out, and if you should be using any chips as well. We have also got some data today that really surprised me. So if you are still enjoying this series, please do drop a like. Can we shoot for 2,000 likes on this video? That would be amazing. Let's meet the experts. Alright, so here are the 100 who helped me out this week by sending me their transfer plans, their chip plans, and their captaincy decisions for this game week. So massive shout out to these guys, all top managers. Make sure you go check them out if you see them anywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, wherever you see them. Make sure you show them some love because they're absolute legends, and I'm sure we'll see a few of them in the comment section as well. What have they been up to though? That's the question. Well, out of our 100 expert managers, 39% are making one transfer, 39% are making two transfers, so we've got just as many making multiple transfers, making two transfers, as we have done making one transfer. We've got 3%, so 3 people making 3 transfers. Yes, it is a big week for making transfers because we also got 11% using the wildcard. That is the highest number of our top FPL managers that we have seen using their wildcard so far this season. This has been the biggest week for a wildcard so far. So if you are on a wildcard right now, you are in good company. 11% of our good friends are also doing the same thing. And just 4% this week. 4 people not making any transfers this week. Like I say, it is a big week for making transfers, and the majority of our FPL managers, if you include the wildcarders, are making more than one transfer. So it's not a week for one transfer, it's a week for multiple transfers. Let's go crazy with what we're going to be doing this game week. And believe me, some of the decisions I feel like are a little bit crazy, but there are trends, strong trends, that suggest that maybe they're good moves after all. Let me show you what I mean. So first of all, I'm showing you the most popular Game Week 6 transfers in the world, and there are some surprises here when we get to the experts data, believe me. But looking through these, Alvarez is by far the most popular transfer in the world. Everyone is bringing him in right now. He is the new hot property, just like Heung-min Son was last week, and I guess Sterling maybe was the week before that. This week, it is Alvarez's week, so he is the big boy in town. We've got a few transfers here in for Botman as well, and Mbumo, and James Ward-Prowse, and Salah, kind of making up the top 5 most popular transfers. But the question is, are any of these 12 players popular among our experts as well? And the answer is yes. So the top 3, Alvarez, Botman, and Mbumo, all 3 of these players super popular among our experts, and as is Trippier there as well. You can see him down there at number 10. So these 4 players, these are the hype players, not just among the overall FPL player base, but our experts also really like these players. But it may surprise you to see that some of the players on this list are actually not really interesting to our FPL experts. They're not really interested to them at all. And one of them is going to surprise you how uninteresting they are. So, yeah, a few of these players, there's been a little bit of interest in. 1 or 2 transfers in. But a lot of these players are not being brought in at all, and are in fact being sold by many of our experts as well. So Salah, Gusto, Madison, Mitoma, Udogie, and Romero, none of these players have any transfers in among our experts. The most surprising of all of these is Salah. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been buying into the Salah hype recently. A lot of people have. I myself have definitely thought about Salah and maybe how he can be included in teams and stuff like that. But our experts are buying him, not one. Unless you include the wildcarders, which I don't have the full wildcard teams for these people, but I did see there were a few Salahs in there. Aside from that, unless you're using a wildcard, it pretty much seems that nobody's bringing in Salah. Like, literally nobody's bringing in Salah other than wildcarders. So it may be a case for you guys that unless you're on a wildcard, maybe Salah is not the play right now. Maybe it's not the time to go for him. That's going to be kind of up to you. But the expert data suggests that unless you're on a wildcard, Salah is not going to be of too much interest to you. Of course, if you've already got Salah, amazing. And some of our experts do already have Salah. But in terms of new buyers, we're not seeing any. So yeah, leave me in the comments your thoughts about that one, because I know from experience, like being around the FPL community, particularly this year, but we've seen it in previous years before, Salah owners are very passionate about owning Salah. Like, very passionate. Like, the only people that seem to own Salah are the people who think he is absolutely 100% essential, and everyone who doesn't have Salah is an absolute fool to go without him. So that's kind of what the Salah owners are like. I have been like from my experience. So I want to hear what you think Salah owners, what is going on here? Why are the experts not picking up Salah using their free transfers? I want to know. Why do you think that is? But we have got some other players here as well. Gusto, no transfers in for him. In fact, he's actually being sold by a couple of people. The kind of confidence in Chelsea is going downhill, as we all know. We've got 3 Spurs players on this list, Maddison, Udogie and Romero. None of our experts are bringing in any Spurs players this week. In fact, some of them are actually selling Spurs players as well, or planning to bench them. So yeah, Spurs players, although they are the general hypes, because they play Arsenal away from home next game week, it's going to be a really tough fixture for Spurs, and it's perhaps not the right time to jump in on them. Maybe wait a couple of game weeks until we get the Luton and Fulham back-to-back fixtures there. That could be a better time to buy those Spurs guys. And we've got Mitoma here as well. Nobody is interested in him among our experts. Of course, we do have a couple of owners of Mitoma already, but no one looking to pick him up now. In terms of transfers out, this is quite clear who the 2 most popular players to sell are. Like really clear, really strong trends, and this is going to help you guys because a lot of you guys are going to own these 2 players as well, and it's going to be a fairly easy decision. Maybe these experts trends might give you a little bit of confidence in yourself to be able to say, all right, fair enough, maybe I should sell these players. I'm not alone in this kind of need or want to sell these players. And those players, of course, are Jackson and Chilwell. 2 Chelsea players. The confidence in them is going down rapidly. They've just not been too impressive, have they? Jackson missing chance after chance, which is just no good when there's other good strikers to go for right now. And Chilwell, for the price he is, he's just not necessarily nailed on anymore. So that is a good reason to remove him, with some great other options in defence as well, which we will have a look at in a very short moment. Now, Rico Henry, we had the very unfortunate news yesterday that Rico Henry, he has had a season-ending injury. He's not going to be playing for the rest of the season, which I'm really gutted for him about. I definitely saw myself with Henry in my team at some point during this season, but it's not going to happen now. So if you do have Rico Henry, you are going to have to sell him. A few of our experts have him, and yeah, they are selling him, getting rid of him. You just cut your losses there. He's gone for the season. Try and find someone else, and there's definitely some options there. Saliba as well, another player being sold ahead of this Spurs fixture. It's not a great fixture really for Arsenal, is it? And they do also play Man City in a couple of weeks as well, do Arsenal. So difficult fixtures for Arsenal coming up. Maybe be a good time to sell the likes of Saliba or Gabriel if you have him as well. I know some of our experts are selling Gabriel too. Mubama is being sold, so maybe some restructuring there. Watkins, he's being sold as well. Not on penalties, not scoring goals, and actually not getting 90 minutes per game anymore with Duran's good form. And then there's a load of players that are being sold by 3 of our experts. So Bulldog, Colwill, Foden, Gavardio, João Pedro, Martinelli, Son. Yeah, Son is being sold now, and Sterling there at the bottom as well. So Son and Sterling is the most surprising one, isn't it, really, out of this list. These 2 players really hyped up over the last couple of game weeks, and suddenly now a few people are choosing to sell him. But remember, it is just a few people, only 3 on each of them, so this is not really a big trend. The big trends really are selling Jackson and Chilwell. That seems to be really obvious. Selling Henry if you have him. And after that, Saliba, Mubama, Watkins. These are the kind of players you could consider removing from your FPL team. But who are you going to replace them with? That is the big question. Well, strong trends once again. We've got 2 players right at the top of this list. Julian Alvarez, 39 out of our 81 transfer-making experts are buying in Alvarez. So, yeah, about half of the people bringing in Alvarez. Add that to the people who already owned Alvarez. We're going to see over half of the top FPL managers will be owning Alvarez going into game week 36, game week 6. We're not quite that deep into the season, are we, guys? But, yeah, if you don't have Alvarez already, he is definitely the new biggest trend, the new hype player that you guys want to be bringing in. Everyone kind of agrees on this, whether you are more of a casual player or you're a top FPL manager that spends your life dedicated to the game. Everyone is in agreement that Alvarez, he looks like the real deal. He really does look really good at the moment. After that, it is all about those Newcastle defenders. So the next 3 slots in terms of most popular transfers all are occupied by Newcastle defenders. Botman at 4.5, Trippier at 6.5, and Share at 5 million. That's their prices. But Botman at this very cheap price point, 4.5 million. There's no reason to not get him. You know, anyone can afford him, whether you're selling a Rico Henry or you're selling a Trent Alexander-Arnold. Anyone can afford to move a defender over to Botman at 4.5 million. So that's why 31 of our 81 transfer-making experts are bringing in Botman this week. But don't forget, Trippier and Share, still very good options. A little bit more expensive, but they will get you a little bit more pointage as a result of that extra expenditure. And Mbumo comes in at 5th. 8 transfers in for him. That's not too bad, really, considering a lot of people already own Mbumo. Seeing another 8 join the ranks of Mbumo owners is definitely interesting, and Mbumo is is definitely becoming a very, very strong template player that a lot of our top managers are going to be owning. And then after that, we've got the likes of Morris with his double game week in Game Week 7. We've got Callum Wilson here, who there is no way I expected to see Callum Wilson make this list. I can't believe 5 are going for him. It's not just 1 or 2 rogue managers going for Wilson. We have got 5 of our experts going for him, which is actually a little bit of a trend there, really, isn't it? So I thought that was really interesting, and I'm curious to see how that comes out, because maybe Isak is going to be playing Champions League games. Wilson's going to be playing in the Premier League games. We know that when Wilson plays, he is an incredible, phenomenal FPL asset. But I was just kind of surprised to see so many people willing to take that risk on him. So maybe as a differential, that is something you could consider going for. After that, we've got Matty Cash. Few people bringing in him. No surprise there. He's been doing really well, particularly on those attacking numbers. But Marcus Rashford coming in at number 9. 3 transfers in for Marcus Rashford. Remember, Rashford is probably the most sold midfielder right now in FPL. Everyone is selling Rashford in the overall player base, but among our experts, nobody is selling him, and 3 people are actually bringing him in. Rashford, remember, is already owned by about 60-70% of our experts, and even more are looking to bring him in, not sell him. So please do take note of this one. If you're a Rashford owner right now, none of our experts are selling him, but some are buying him. So I think that should maybe kind of give a little bit more confidence to keeping a player like Rashford, and maybe he is not a player you should be selling. Burnley up next. I think it's a fantastic fixture for him as well. I would not be looking to sell him either. He is genuinely a really good pick for this game week, despite a lot of the overall player base actually losing faith in Rashford. You know, let them sell him. And those of us keeping Rashford will hopefully reap the benefits over those impatient FPL managers who couldn't bear that one blank from last game week. Because remember, the 2 game weeks before that, he was scoring points. So it's not really too bad, is it? So with all of that data in mind, what are some potential transfers you guys could be making with your own teams? Well, the most obvious one has to come first. Nicholas Jackson out, Julian Alvarez in. They are a similar price right now. In fact, Alvarez is slightly cheaper, so anyone who has Jackson can afford to make this move right now. It's a good one. It's definitely a good one. Jackson has not been performing, has been in poor form, and Alvarez has been performing and is in good form. A very, very easy, sensible transfer that you guys can make right there. It is very, very obvious, and those obvious transfers, usually you should just go for them. You remove a player you're worried about, and you bring in a player you're very confident in. That's exactly what you want when you're making your FPL moves. If you've got Ollie Watkins and you're losing faith in him, maybe you could switch him to Alvarez as well. That's another option, or whatever other forwards you might have in your team. There are a few other forwards some people have, like Wissa and Ferguson. Those players not really being transferred to Alvarez quite as much, but Jackson and Watkins are the players who people are not really liking so much at the moment. Some of the other forwards might be a slightly more difficult decision for you guys to make. Foden to Mbumo, it really could be any midfielder, really. There was quite a few midfielders being sold by like 3 of our experts, so I threw in Foden in here. He has a couple of transfers out, and Mbumo is definitely the midfielder to go for this week. If you're buying a midfielder this week, make it Mbumo. Everyone else can probably just be left as it is. So yeah, Foden to Mbumo, no James Ward-Prowse. Only one of our experts bringing him in. So yeah, in terms of midfielders, it's a really, really obvious decision where you're going to make your moves there, really. So yeah, with that said, let's have a look at some defenders. So you're probably wondering straight away, who is this new def guy? Who's new def? I've never heard of this player before. Of course, you guys know that I do mean a Newcastle defender. So yeah, we will be looking to bring in a Newcastle defender this week if you are looking to remove a defender. They are really, really obvious replacements, and it just depends on how much money you're willing to spend on that slot. But the big sells are Chilwell, Henry, and Saliba. Those are the kind of players you want to be removing right now, and it's really obvious to go for one of Botman, Cher, or Trippier. Just depends how much money you want to spend, and therefore how many points you're going to get as a result, hopefully. Botman, by far the most popular among our experts because he is so cheap, and he's probably going to be able to pick up bonus points in those low-scoring games, but you are going to get a bit more attacking threat from the likes of Fabian Cher and Kieran Trippier. So don't write those guys off. They're still very, very good options there. So yeah, if you want to make a transfer to a defender, make it to a Newcastle defender, because that seems to be where all the hype is right now among top FPL managers. In terms of captaincy, we're back to a boring week, unfortunately, guys. Haaland at 96% against Nottingham Forest. Yeah, a huge outlay here, a huge number. This kind of is so strange. When we look at this season and last season compared to previous seasons, we would actually see this page often be a little bit more interesting than this, but there's only 3 different captains being picked this week by experts, and 2 of them, you know, are only on 2% each. So it's all about Erling Haaland again. If you have any questions or decisions to make about your captain this week, know for a fact that the sensible pick, the most popular pick, the pick that everyone is going for right now is going to be Erling Haaland in this game. Be afraid of going for anyone else. There is a lot of reason to be afraid if you're picking someone else, because you could do some serious damage to your rank if you're not picking Haaland this week. He really should have got more points last game week, but people who didn't captain him, very, very lucky to get away with that one. It could have been an absolute monster haul from him, and we're expecting back against Forest, it's going to be huge for him again. So, yeah. Captain Erling Haaland, that's the only thing I can take away from this. 96% is a huge, huge number in this data set of 100 managers. There is no doubt in my mind that he is the right captain decision this week. Even with Alvarez and Salah lurking there, I'm not interested at all. It's Erling Haaland time all over again. And that pretty much concludes our data of what we've gathered from our experts and what they're up to. So yeah, some really, really good info this week. Really enjoyed making this one. Really good to get those trends on paper, on the board, in front of our faces to see what we should be doing with our own FPL teams. Like I say, if you do enjoy this video, please do drop a like. 2,000 likes would be amazing to keep this series going. And do subscribe if you're new around here and you'd like a little bit more. And just one more thing before we disappear. If you would like to check out my FC24 channel, I should probably be streaming like right now. If you're watching this video when it first comes out, I'm probably streaming over on my second channel right now. I'll leave a link at the top of the description. We're going to be playing some FC. We'll be going to be doing some web app content today and some full release content tomorrow on Thursday. And we'll be talking a little bit of FPL, of course, throughout it all. So FC gameplay and FPL talk. What more could you want? So I'll leave a link to the top of the description. Go check that out, and hopefully I'll see a few of you guys there. Let me know if you are going to be heading over there and you are hyped for the new game. I guess one more thing, I know I said only one more thing, but one more thing, we have of course got Fantasy Football Hub 7-day free trial still going on, so check out that at the top of the description. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates.